Hi, I'm Justin Diamond, and this is Giant Special Tokyo Love and Game. Chapter 1. The train to work wasn't too crowded. It was slowing down. A Japanese recording played announcing the next stop. I used my last few moments on the train to check out the woman sitting across the aisle. Her fingernails might have been a reverse French manicure. Red at the tip and clear where the nails were usually painted. The clear part was decorated with little tiny stars. Blue, white, and green stars. She caught me looking at her, gave me a glare that said, "Let me go." Her black leather boots went all the way up to her knees where they revealed black stockings with white polka dots. The rest was obscured by her gray tweed jacket. Her hair was that shade of auburn that was so popular with the Japanese ladies. The recording played again, this time in English. Above the doors the announcement was spelled out on the LCDs. The train stopped and I jumped out of my seat to stand closer to the doors, to be the first one out. Then I ran, past a group of old Japanese people waiting on a bench seat. Brad Pitt smiling with a Docomo brand cell phone on the poster behind them. Through a crowd of black-suited businessmen and dodging short-skirted schoolgirls while I bounded up a wide bank of stairs. All the while, I was taking off my headphones, wrapping them neatly around my fists so the wires wouldn't get tangled. I looked up and there was a crowd. No, not a crowd. The exit gates, slowing people down so it looked like a crowd. I needed my ticket to get through, but my hands were full of headphone cord. "Sumimasen," I said, Japanese for "excuse me," and stopped a moment to finish what I started. I was right about to thread the end of the headphones through the loop of cable I made, the last step, when someone bumped into me and I lost it. "Sumimasen," he said, "excuse me," the polite thing to say. "Sumi?" I began, because wasn't it polite to say it back? But the man had one of those new smart cards that you could touch to the turnstile, and it let him through without breaking his stride. I had to get out of there, out of the flow of people I was blocking. A few steps to the side, and now far too much trouble for what it was worth. I changed my mind and simply held the headphones in my left hand while I dug through my pockets for my ticket with my right hand. It wasn't there. "Sumimasen," came another random voice, a woman this time, bumping into me. Not in my pockets, not in my back pocket, the ticket was gone. I'd never lost a train ticket before. "Sumimasen!" The guy bumped me right on my left hand, the hand holding my headphones, and they came unwound. At least I'd made it over to the booth at the side of the gate, where a man worked to straighten out these situations. I was fourth in line. That is to say, fourth in the line that was on the inside of the gate. There was also another line on the outside of the gate, all waiting on the same train station attendant. No sign of any other employees. Just the one guy. On the bright side, I had plenty of time to tie my headphones all nice and neat the way I liked it, before it was my turn with the gatekeeper. When he finally turned to me, his piercing dark eyes, I got all flustered. Normally, I was the English teacher, and they were the squirming, struggling, intermediate speakers. Now I was the one doing the struggling. "Sumimasen," I said. Time slowed for him to frown at me. Or not me, but my speaking speed. Rather, I spoke slow, painfully slow motion for the foot traffic going on behind us. "Chiketo ga nai desu." I don't have a ticket. "Ikura desu ka?" How much? I knew he would charge me the maximum amount. To add insult to injury, he held up his fingers while he said it, and spoke extra slow for me, the foreigner, the gaijin. "Nisen roppuaku desu." 2 fingers on one hand, 4 fingers on the other. 2,400 yen, about $20. Or 25, depending on which way the exchange rate was going. "Sumimasen," I said, going through my wallet to get it. I handed over the cash, looked him in the eye, and said, in English I was sure he couldn't understand, There goes my supper money. He raised his eyebrows, and it set me off. I kept running, from that exit directly into the second floor of the Metropolitan. Normally, the best way to go was the employee elevators in the back, but with adrenaline pumping and the main elevator right in front of me, I decided to sprint up to the 14th floor. I was on autopilot, not really thinking when I made this decision. How they do escalators in Japan is, they make 2 lanes. People who want to stand on the left. Those who wish to walk up the right. But they also do escalators Japanese size. In America, it wouldn't work. Fat people would literally get stuck in such a narrow lane. In situations like this escalator, where it really was too narrow for 2 to walk abreast, usually you just waited. It would be rude to just rub up against someone because you're in a hurry. But my first English lesson was in 3 minutes. I was in such a hurry. From behind, the group in front of me looked like grandmas. It didn't help that they all held shopping bags, the large paper kind with handles and sharp corners that would almost certainly catch on something. "Sumimasen," I said, and dove in. And like some strange kind of human instrument, each of them said "Sumimasen" as I squeezed past her, onward and upward to work. I'd never taken the escalators up before. That was part of the reason why I was inclined to make the detour. I'd never realized how big the place was. Seemingly endless levels of department stores, a few levels of jewelry stores, a level for sportswear and watches, above that, a bookstore, 2 more levels of restaurants, then a level with travel agencies and a post office. I wish I'd known about the post office last week. And then there was no more escalator. I was on the 13th floor. I worked on the 14th floor. "Sumimasen," I said, and found myself looking back and forth between either the employee elevators or the door to the staircase. Duh, the escalators didn't go all the way up to the 14th floor where I worked. "Sumimasen." I started for the staircase. Half a moment later, I did my best to slow my frantic run into a confident but brisk walk into the English school where I worked. I figured I had about seconds to prepare. The students who were about to have class, my student, unknown to me, but among them, were all ready to go. Now, our English school only teaches one-on-one lessons. It was one of the points of the English school. Each person in the crowd would have been sold on that point. A man holding his attaché and looking at his watch, a woman straightening her clothes and turning off her cell phone, past all of them to the reception desk, which was always staffed by the hottest Japanese girls. "Good evening, Diamundo-sensei," one of them said with a flourish of her fingers. I saw that her nails were encrusted with figurines and color, nail art, but I blew her off, my eyes going directly to the clipboard where I saw which booth I'd be working in that night. Number 22. Good old double dose of 50 identical booths where us gaijin worked. I was so used to it, I didn't even break my stride till I was jumping into my seat, taking out a pen, logging into the computer program, retying my hair in a ponytail, and then ding-dong, and the stampede was on. Somewhere behind me, that anxious group of students was making their way down the aisles of the office like some bizarre Asian running of the bulls. One more click of the mouse told me which book and chapter I'd be teaching that lesson, and I had just enough time to pull the book off the shelf when a squirmy, shy Japanese woman approached. What was her name? Japanese women always have 3-syllable names. More than likely, the last syllable is ko. "Good evening." My eyes flickered back to the monitor. "Akiko?" Lesson 1 of 8 tonight, I thought.